Hello, I'm Michael.
I'm Sally, and this is Wrestle MSX.
After a quick recap of SummerSlam, we open with Ludwig Kaiser standing in the ring. He's there, of course, to introduce the new World Heavyweight Champion, a suited and booted Gunther. Gunther lists his accolades, tells us he's above everyone else and that he won't be caught off guard. Monday Night Raw and the World Heavyweight Championship belong to him, or so he tells us. So, we're all waiting for someone to walk out. Damian Priest, Braun Breaker, nice. IC against heavyweight, Maybe even Seth Rollins, now he can challenge for the belt again as Priest no longer holds it.
Yeah.
Well, it's none of them.
Oh.
Randy Orton heads out. As Orton enters the ring, Gunther says he was wrong and that caught him off guard. Me too, because Orton's supposed to be on SmackDown. Anyway, Orton tells Gunther that the only reason he's carrying that title is because he beat him at King of the Ring. But did you really beat me? Everyone knows my shoulders weren't down for the 1-2-3, Orton tells Gunther. Triple H said there needs to be a Gunther Orton sequel, and I'm now calling that in. So how's about you and me at Bash in Berlin? Gunther accepts.
Time for some wrestling now as Sheamus takes on Ludwig Kaiser. Kaiser wastes no time in attacking Sheamus as he makes his way to the ring. After many chops, kicks and a rolling senton, Kaiser then rolls out the ring injured, which lures Sheamus out. Ludwig was playing possum all along, not being injured, and ends up doing his signature drop kick on Sheamus on the ring steps. Sheamus just beats the count out to get back in the ring. Kaiser managed to get 4 beats of the Bo Rain off before Sheamus stops him. Sheamus then becomes invincible and kicks the hell out of Kaiser and hitting him with white noise, but only for a 2 count. A discus clothesline then gets Kaiser a 2 count, apt because it's the Olympics. After 10 beats of Sheamus's Bell Rain on Kaiser, Sheamus follows this up with a clothesline to the outside from the top rope. Pete Dunne then appears and misses Sheamus as he tries to hit him with his shillelagh. Sheamus deals with Dunne, heads back into the ring and delivers a bro kick to the Imperium mouthpiece. Sheamus covers Kaiser and picks up the win.
We have a vignette of the Wyatts from 11 years ago to the Wyatt Sicks today.
Then follows a rather angry Damian Priest heading out to the ring. Naturally, he calls out Finn Bálor. Priest said that the Judgment Day made him feel like he belongs and called out Bálor again. Bálor finally appeared, but on the big screen. Bálor said that Priest brought this on himself as there was supposed to be no leaders in the Judgment Day. We all just had one another's backs, but you winning the title changed all that. Priest told Bálor to man up. Bálor retorted that I screwed you and now you're a loser from the streets. I'm not going to fight you, JD is.
Why is it always JD?
But what I'm going to do is wait until you forget about me and then stab you in the back. And it won't just be me, we all will. The camera then pans back and we see Carlito, JD, Dominic and Liv all walk in to stand behind Bálor. Priest then heads to the back. Judgment Day version 3 has been born.
Backstage and we see Bronson Reed asking Adam Pearce why he doesn't have a match. Pearce doesn't really say much, so Bronson takes things into his own hands, as you'll see later on.
Next up, Lyra Valkyria against Shayna Baszler. Baszler with Sonya Deville and Zoe Stark. Baszler did most of the damage until Lyra managed a gut-wrench powerbomb for a 2 count. Baszler locked in the Karafuda clutch, which Valkyria managed to escape, kicked Shayna and then hit the Nightwing. Upon hitting the 2 count, Deville and Stark stormed the ring and broke the pin. They then beat on Valkyria until Damage Control came out and cleared the ring, inadvertently saving Valkyria. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
We then hear from the Final Testament, Karrion Kross saying that AOP are going to end New Day.
Back from the break, we see Chad Gable telling Maxine Dupree to scoot along as she's talking to Ivy Nile. Gable tells Dupree that she can keep the name Alpha Academy.
Out next, CM Punk. He says he's happy, as he was told he'd be out for 9 months and came back in 5, and that SummerSlam was the start of his road to WrestleMania. We've only just had the other one. He then said that he wants round 2 of Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk, and then he gets interrupted by Seth Rollins. "I've been waiting 10 years for this. Let's go," says Seth as he removes his top and enters the ring. But just as it's about to kick off, McIntyre from high up in the stands speaks out. He said that Punk proved he still had it, but he's not the best in the world anymore. I am. Not me, McIntyre. Seth nor Punk broke eye contact, so Drew says, "I know how to get your attention. I've still got your wife and dog in my corner," referring of course to Punk's bracelet. This does it for Punk and he goes after Drew, Seth just watching on. Bronson Reed then comes down and destroys Rollins with a Death Valley driver and 6 tsunamis. Backstage staff were absolutely useless, so that Seth out for a while, probably wants to spend time with his family, but he was decimated. There was nothing left of it. Well, there was obviously, but wow.
Back from the break, Adam Pearce tells CM Punk that Drew is gone after Punk was looking for him.
The New Day then take on AOP with Cross and Scarlet. The New Day are dressed as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, something to do with some toy merch tie-up. Anyway, the match goes as you'd expect, with AOP in full control until Kofi hits a trust fall on Akam. Cross then trips Woods as he heads to the top turnbuckle, and with the odds against them, New Day look in trouble. But never fear, the new Big E is on hand to save them, Odyssey Jones. He heads down to the ring and manhandles AOP, quite literally, and Cross. Jones saves the New Day. What will Big E have to say about this? That's what I want to know.
JD McDonagh then tells Damian Priest that he was only champion because of the Judgment Day, and with him putting his body on the line.
Backstage we see the New Day with Odyssey Jones and Alpha Academy having a little dance.
Well, why not?
Oh, why not indeed.
But back in the ring we have Awesome Truth against A-Town Down Under. Miz and R-Truth double team Down Under to begin with Miz hitting Miz kicks on both men and then scoring a 2-count pin on Theory. Miz then climbs to the top turnbuckle where Truth tags him. Miz crossbodies Theory and goes for the cover. The ref says he's not the legal man. Truth then heads in the ring, and as he does, Waller comes charging over to him. Truth scoops at Waller to hit him with the attitude adjustment, but as he spins round to face in the ring, he knocks Miz to the outside.
Oh, Truth.
Truth pulls off the AA on Waller, but then Theory hits Truth with an A-Town Down Under and covers him for the win.
We hear from Priest again next, and he tells JD that no one wanted him in the Judgment Day, and that he hopes he's confessed his sins because he's going to send his big-headed ass straight to hell.
Back from the break, Bron Breakker says he's coming for everyone. He's the hunter, not the hunted. He then shows the camera the side plates of his IC belt and says there isn't a man on this planet that can take his name off his belt.
I like that. Good. Next up, JD McDonagh versus Damian Priest. Carlito joining JD. McDonagh is fast, but not fast enough for a Priest boot, which levels him. Priest pretty much dominates JD. JD getting in punches and kicks where he can. Priest most of the time just brushing them aside. A Falcon Arrow followed by a massive clothesline turns JD inside out. And as Priest waits for JD to get up and hit him with the South of Heaven, Bálor attacks him from behind. Carlito then enters the ring, and they're then joined by Dom and Liv. All 5 members beat on Priest, but somehow Priest manages to fight back and get Finn into a razor's edge. Morgan saves Bálor by pulling him down, and as Priest faces Liv, Dom attacks from behind. While the 2 lovers beat on Priest, Mommy appears. Rhea Ripley. This is now turning into an episode of Jerry Springer. As she heads to the ring, Dom and Liv scarp her, but Liv isn't quick enough to escape, and Rhea catches her, ramming her into the ring post twice before setting her up for a razor's edge on the announcer's table. Dominic just about saves her and pulls her down. McDonagh meanwhile heads back into the ring to start on Priest again, but Priest pushes him away right into Rhea's path as she's now in the ring. She waves at JD and then headbutts him. JD spins round and into a huge South of Heaven from Priest. It looks like Mummy has a new daddy, as Rhea and Priest hug in the ring. This, for me, has got bad blood written all over it,
Ooh, yes.
hasn't it? Now, whether it's going to be a mixed tag, I mean, it's got to be a mixed tag.
Mixed tag
but if it's a mixed tag, it has to be Dom and Liv.
Yeah. But that's...
Yeah, I know, but... Yeah, anyway, that's...
Or it could be Finn and Liv.
What? Ooh, Is Dominic
Yet another recap of Roman Reigns' return at SummerSlam. We see Dakota Kai with Damage Control heading to the ring through backstage for her match against Sonya Deville. Damage Control get jumped by Baszler, Stark and Deville though. Back from the break, Deville and her minions are in the ring. Sonya saying we're not going to see Kai tonight, but out comes IYO SKY and Kairi Sane. IYO has had a match sanctioned to face Deville. After beating up Deville, Sky decides to leave the safety of the ring and go and beat up Stark and Baszler at ringside. Big mistake as Deville heads over and throws her into the ring steps. Back in the ring, a huge missile dropkick gets IYO a 2 count. After the bullet train, a double knees in the corner, Sky goes for a pin, but Stark puts Deville's foot on the rope, breaking the pin. Sane then attacks Stark as Sky throws Deville out of the ring. Sky and Sane then climb to the top of the same ring post. Sane hitting an insane elbow on Stark, while Sky hits an over the moonsault on Deville and Baszler, all to the outside. Very impressive. IYO then throws Deville back into the ring, hits another over the moonsault on her and pins her for the victory. WWE, we need a name for Baszler, Deville and Stark, please. Actually, in fact, if any of you have got a name for them, let us know in the comments and we'll use what we think is the best one next time we talk about them.
Because I'm just sick of saying Baszler, Deville.
Too many names.
Backstage, we see Ilya Dragunov talking to Sami Zayn. As Dragunov walks off, Jey Uso enters the frame. Jey tells Sami to pick himself up and get that title rematch, to which Sami says he has next week on Raw. Jey says good, and then after that we got unfinished business with the Judgment Day, and you're going to be a double champion. So I think they're going after the tag titles. You know, and I prefer Sami in a tag team. I just think he's a bit more interesting. Yeah, personally.
I agree. Yeah. Michael Cole then tells us that Seth Rollins is in hospital after the attack from Bronson Reed. I'm not surprised, after that human meatball absolutely squished him.
We then see a video of Huskus the pig. He's sitting on the floor with his back to the camera. It reminds me of Mankind's vignettes from back in the day. He says they thought they could control you, but he saw through their lies. Now open your heart to the man of the woods, and now we'll make them all pay for their sins. He then shouts at the camera and the screen goes black.
We then see Chad Gable and the Creed brothers walking through backstage for their match with the Wyatt Sicks. Gable says he has a new family now and states that they are called American Made. They then head through gorilla position and out to the entranceway with new gear and a new theme song, new graphics on the screen. I quite like it.
I haven't got a problem with this at all. So, final match of the night. American Made versus the Wyatt Sicks for their in-ring debut. American Made are already in the ring as the lights dim and the piano plays. The camera pans back to the entranceway and we see a rocking chair with a lantern on it. The Wyatt Sicks emerge from the back, led by Nikki Cross. And as they pass the rocking chair, Uncle Howdy picks up the lantern and continues towards the ring. Just before the ring, they stop. Howdy blows out the lantern, the lights come on, and Huskus, Rambling Rabbit and Mercy slide in the ring and the match is on. The Sicks clear the ring, as in the Wyatt Sicks, with American Made looking to head to the back. But Howdy is sitting in the rocking chair, which had been brought closer to the ring, with Cross sitting in front of him. With nowhere to go, American Made must stand and fight. Julius Creed gets manhandled by Dexter Lumis, who then tags in Joe Gacy, who also handles Julius with ease. The match then breaks down with Eric Rowan powerbombing Lumis over the top rope onto all three members of American Made outside the ring. Back from the break and Gable gets a 2 count on Gacy. The Creed brothers then take turns moonsaulting Gacy, which is followed up with Gable moonsaulting him as well and going for another pin, but only for 2 as Lumis breaks up the pin. Rowan then cleans house and hits Gable with a massive back body drop. He manages a 2 count pin on Gable, but the Creed brothers manage to break it up. Lumis then takes out the Creed brothers from the top turnbuckle to the outside, saving Gacy from a beating. Gable performs a clean German suplex pin on Rowan, who just manages to kick out. Dexter and Joe then perform what can only be called 2 rock bottoms on the Creeds onto the announcer's table, with Rowan giving Gable a face slam. It's like a choke slam, but he grabbed his face. Gacy then gets back in the ring with Lumis. Gacy powerbombing Lumis onto Gable before Lumis then flies off the top turnbuckle and splashes Gable for good measure. Mercy then pins Gable for the win. Raw goes off the air with a Wyatt Sicks in the ring and Uncle Howdy proclaiming, "We are here." Now, I was loving all the Judgment Day stuff. Yeah, it's all unraveling.
I'm glad they're still together.
I am, and they're coming back together as this new incarnation,
Yep.
as you said, we said earlier, version 3 of it. I love that. But I just hope that when Seth's back, he continues his feud with Punk.
Yes, 'cause I think
we don't want this Bronson
good.
Reed thing. Okay, he's probably got to fight him, but get back with Punk. I mean, it might be back next week, but we're just speculating here that maybe he wants some time off to be with his family. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe.
But Punk and Seth is unfinished. And as Seth said himself, he's been waiting 10 years to get his hands on Punk. So he's coming for him. No Raw for us next week, as we're away for a couple of weeks, but we will be covering SmackDown on Saturday. Thank you again for watching.
And we'll catch you later.